a working Zoom or a training?
Running. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes? My son needed a butt change.
No, you're totally good. I just got everything figured out technology-wise. So I think we're up and running. I'm ready whenever you are, if you just want to kind of start off.
Your first thing, this is Alexa Hoffman, guys. She is a double diamond, and she's going to help us on some Instagram training because I don't know about your team, but we're all pooey at it, so they want me to teach them, but I can't teach them if I don't know. So if you want to just give us a little of your story in like a nutshell.
Okay, perfect. So long story short, I joined back in April of 2018. So I've been in a little over a year. And my husband and I were living with roommates at the time, and I found out I was pregnant, and we just didn't have money for that, and it kind of scared the crap out of me. Hang on, oh, it is recording. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure. It kind of scared me. Like, it just freaked me out because kids are so expensive. And so I've been praying for something for years to just give me that extra income for breathing room for me and my family. And I came across a girl on Instagram and blocked her and unblocked her a million times. I thought she was the most annoying person in the world. But come to find out, she completely changed my life. So after I joined the business, within 2 weeks, I went executive. Within 6 weeks, I was Ruby. I went Emerald in 90 days, but it took me almost 11 months of being in the company to go Diamond. And then the very next month I went Double. So it was kind of like really fast and then kind of tapered off for a second and then skyrocketed again. And this month I'm pushing for Triple. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Okay, the next thing I had is like, how do you go about who to follow? Because I watched Carrie Young's Messaging 101 and I sent out like 60 and it was so bad. So messaging, and then like, how do you follow up with the people you've already messaged? And
okay, perfect. So as far as following people, you guys, eventually when you're higher up in the company, like I have so much going on and there's so much that I want to pay more attention to that I actually hired somebody to take that on for me, and it's been amazing. But until you're at that point, what I was doing manually that was working really well was I was going to my explore page on Instagram. So hopefully all of you guys know what that is, but I'll show you just in case. Okay, so when you pull up your Instagram, it's this little like search button right here at the bottom. So you just pull this up and this is your explore page, right? So it's just gonna load like a million pictures. And so what I would do is I would go to like a super cute pic that obviously has a ton of likes, and I would go through and I would follow those people that like looked cute and young and like my type of people, like search for people that are similar for you. And then I would also go through and like search specific companies or specific areas. So I like to stay local, both in the US, UK, and Canada. Like that's kind of my territory where I succeed best. Like I'm trying to venture out. But I like to keep it really local because I love having a local team. But I will search things in my area. Like I live in Molalla, which is a total hodunk town, but there's certain restaurants that I love to go to. So I'll look up that restaurant and follow the people who have tagged themselves there, or we'll go to the people who liked their pictures or whatever. Like I'll go through, I find creative ways on Instagram to go about it. Facebook, I do totally differently, but since we're focusing on Instagram, that's kind of what I do is like search for tags like hair or beauty or fitness or whatever. Follow those types of people who are already interacting on other people's pages that like those things, if that makes sense. So just if you can picture what your perfect avatar would be or your perfect customer or perfect distributor, follow people like that. And that's going to take a little bit more time, but I find that you're going to retain a lot easier that way. The other thing that I did that's completely optional, and I have leaders on my team who don't do this, so don't feel like you have to, but I made my account a business page because I follow a lot of Gary Vee and Grant Cardone, and everybody is talking about right now how advertisement will never be as cheap as it is right now, you guys. It is absolutely insane. So the big boys, aka McDonald's, Nike, Apple, like all of these big monopolizing companies will purchase advertisement on billboards or TV or radio or whatever, but they're not really dabbling in social media yet. So if you were going to put an ad on TV, it's going to be millions and millions of dollars to run for 30 seconds. If you want to put your ad sponsored on Instagram, it's going to be $5, $1 a day for 5 days, and your photo and your account is now in front of 1,200 people that they weren't ever before. So one recommendation that I've had major success with is changing my account to a business account and promoting my posts. Now, there are specific rules with Instagram as to you can't, like a lot of my opportunity posts where I say specific income numbers or opportunity, those ones, they don't typically allow. It has to be worded correctly just because they don't directly support MLMs. But there are other ones that I do that are like even just ones of me and my daughter and like are super simple. Like I'm so thankful that I get to stay home with her today. If it's a really bomb picture, I'll still promote it because you guys, I run out of people to message, both that I'm following and that view my stories and like my photos. Like the reality is, you know, a couple hundred people watch my story and it's generally a lot of the same people. Of course, as I'm growing my network, new people are watching it every day. But if you're finding that you're just running yourself in circles, promote a post. I'll get like 500 likes on it. And all I've been doing today is going to one of my pictures that has a bunch of those likes and going through and messaging those people. So I totally got off on a tangent, but explore page, that's how I'm following people. How I message people is I kind of just gave you a huge tip on that, promoting a post and going to the ones that have lots of likes. Also, Instagram just changed their feature on your following. So if you click on the people that you're following, and it's going to load in a minute, and there's like these little arrows at the top. If you click that, it's going to pull up a sort list. And so I do date followed latest, and it's going to bring all the newest people that I've followed to the top. So I scroll all the way down and I work my way up. And I'll just write in my journal or in my planner like where I left off, and I'll scroll back down and just find that person and then just keep messaging. When you're growing your network every day, you're going to have new people obviously to speak to. But if you're newer in this business or haven't been expanding your network as much as you need to, or you're mass messaging and you just didn't have you weren't following a ton of people before, you don't want to follow somebody and message them the same day. So I usually say a week time span after I've followed somebody to message them. So this sponsoring a post or, you know, messaging people, I've recently started this thing where I started messaging influencers on Instagram, which I've never done before, and I don't really know how it's going yet, so I'm kind of like freaked out to tell you guys that. But I've been messaging them about product testers, and my message is a little bit different to them than like the average bear. But I've been getting a lot of response. Even if they're not interested in the product, what I'm doing is starting a conversation with them and just making sure, because you guys, when people, the algorithm on Instagram is a lot stronger than Facebook. So when you are messaging with somebody, that is like one of the biggest ties in the algorithm between you and that person. So when you're messaging back and forth, regardless of what it's about, if they've never liked your picture before, chances are if that person's not following you already, they probably will be. But they will also you will pop up on their feed more if they are following you. So when you even just message somebody and they open it and don't even reply, you're going to pop up on their feed in a couple hours. So the thing that goes hand in hand with the influencers and kind of
Is
what I
that
was
stories too?
Yeah.
Like, are you going to start popping up on their story on the bubble? Okay.
Yep. So you will be more pronounced on their page. The other thing is there's basically like status quos on Instagram is what I like to call it. That's not really what they're called, but that's what I do, or that's what I say. Where when you have a certain number of followers, like you're at a certain rank basically in Instagram. I don't really know how else to explain it. Where when someone, let's say if I was messaging Madison and she has like 1,800, 1,900 followers, versus if I was messaging Paige Hathaway, who has millions of followers, my activity level that I'm going to get both when I sponsor things or when people like and comment on my photos, it's going to reach a lot more people simply because that person has more followers. So I just want them interacting with me. Same thing with comments. It's not as strong as a message, but I'll go and comment like those explore pages. Like I don't know if you guys have ever heard Gary V interaction. If you haven't, then go look up that YouTube video as soon as we're done with this. It's only like 5 minutes long. But it talks about interacting on people's pages. And one of the things that I do is I'll go through my explore page and I interact with people 5 times, 5 minutes a day. So 5 minutes each, 5 times a day on both Facebook and Instagram. And on Insta, I will just go through my explore page and comment on major influencers that have a bunch of comments and likes for a couple different reasons. One of them, and I know I'm going super fast, you guys, but this is recorded so that you can go watch and back, but I don't have a lot of time, so I just wanna make sure that I'm like busting everything out. So if I go too fast, just watch it on replay. But one of the things that, what was I just saying? Oh, commenting on influencers' photos and why. So number one, there are a lot of other companies, even spam accounts, that will go through and follow the people who are commenting on big pages because they want to grow their network, right? So everybody is checking those. A lot of the influencers also understand the algorithm, and most of them reply to every single comment. And guess what that means for you? That now your page is getting more activity because this person who has tons of followers is interacting with you. So Instagram thinks that you're somebody of importance that people want to be speaking to. Sorry, I know I got off on a total another tangent. That's kind of what I do. I told her, I was like, you're going to have to like reel me in as I go through this because I get like so into outer space. Yeah. I'm going to stay here. Does that kind of answer your question about who I'm?
Yes, definitely. Like, because I know, like, I'm pretty much a pro at the Facebook algorithm, and I like drill that into my girls' heads. And a lot of it's the same. And I didn't know that. So now I want you to kind of tell us how you do stories, and then I need to know how to do highlights.
Yes. Okay. So as far as stories, do you want to know more like what I'm posting on my story, how often I'm posting on my story, how
I want to know like what's the difference between you posting on your Facebook, because I know like the Instagram, if you post on the story, it goes to Facebook. So like I've been really hard on myself about that. But what's different? Are you more on Facebook? Or are you more on Instagram?
So I started and built my business completely on Facebook.
Okay.
And I love Facebook for a couple.
Until what rank? Do you remember? Until what rank did you start? Diamond? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I built myself all the way to diamond completely on Facebook. I was using Instagram, but I was not nearly as active. I wasn't messaging, and I was barely expanding my network. So I was like,
Exactly how I was until I hit diamond, and I'm like, I need something else.
I know, same. Okay, so I built completely on Facebook, and I love Facebook for the post aspect, but Instagram is for the younger generation, and I have two completely demographics on Facebook and on Instagram, which is a good thing, you guys. Like, that's a very good thing, because now you are, you're just expanding. There's more people to talk to. But I personally don't have my stuff automatically upload to each platform. Like, you can do it for both posts and for stories. I don't do either. I manually do both, just because, again, like, it'll just pop up on more people's things if I manually go and input it, which is totally a pain, especially on Facebook, you guys, but do it anyways. But I'm sorry, I got off on another thing. What was your specific question? Stories.
If you're doing different stuff on Instagram than Facebook stories.
I'm doing the exact same thing. I am doing the exact same thing. I will literally go post something to my Instagram and then directly go post it to my Facebook. Partly because I do so much throughout my day that it would get too crazy if I tried to like mix them up. And I find that because I have such a different network on Facebook than I do on Instagram, it doesn't really matter, because there's very few people that are seeing both. And even if they do see both, I don't really care, because that means I'm in their face now one more time than I was before. So I don't know. That's just
when, especially when you post like you do, like you are so live. I've followed you for a while. You are so lifestyle. Like, you aren't just throwing the business in your face, like you're sprinkling it. So it doesn't matter if they see it again, because you see a lot of people's Facebook posts and then they post on Instagram the same thing. Like people that aren't even in a business.
Yeah, no. Totally.
Now I need you to tell me how to do this highlight thing.
Okay. So what you'll want to do is you're going to go to Pinterest and you're going to search iPhone background. Or if you have a specific, I'm super anal about Instagram, you guys. It's sort of a problem, but I like all the colors to like kind of go together, and there's
what my friends are like, how? I'm like, how are y'all doing this?
So one of my biggest suggestions, I'll kind of go through highlights really quick, and then I'll kind of go through like how my Instagram is structured. But anyways, so you'll want to kind of pick a theme. And what that theme was for me was choosing one specific filter for my whole page. And I don't know why, but it literally changes the game. Like, aesthetically, it just looks so much better. And I've been getting so many more followers, so much more activity since I did that. So I love the app what is it called? PicTap Go. It's called PicTap Go. And there's a bunch of different filters on there, and that was what I did before I bought a preset. And so you can just pick one, and on every single photo that you post, it's that one. But anyways, you'll pick a photo on the iPhone background in Pinterest that you like, that kind of goes with your theme. So like if you look at mine's kind of like a white and very like earthy tones, and then I have like this light green and white highlight. So it kind of goes, right? So try and do that. So once you go, first of all, biggest pet peeve, if you do not know how to download a photo on Pinterest instead of screenshotting it, I'm about to rock your world. Okay, so I hate when there's a little like arrow in the corner of y'all's pictures, like either crop that out or like I'm about to rock you. Okay, so I've got this.
Ginger shook. That's my mom, but Ginger shook.
You're so funny. Okay, so here you go. Pay attention to this one. So at the top, there's a little send button, and over here, there's 3 dots. If you click that dot, it says download image or save image. So download it, and now it's in your photos, right? So I go to my photos, and it's here, and there's no random weird little arrow in the corner. So then you'll go to Instagram, and let's say, so do you have any highlights created? Or
I have one. and I can't figure out how to do it again.
Okay. So if you wanted to create a new one, you would just click the plus and then you can create it from scratch. I know that's kind of hard to see. So you just click the plus, start a new one from scratch. But if you just wanted to change it, you would like click. I have a lot on this, so it takes a while to open. Sorry. Okay. So let's say you're on this and then you click the 3 little dots in the bottom corner and it's going to bring up this menu and it says edit highlight. So click edit highlight and then it's going to pull all of this up. And you're just going to click edit cover. So edit cover, it pulls this up and you're going to click this little gallery photo at the bottom. So click that and it's going to bring up your camera roll and you can click it and center it however you want. And then you're going to click done and then you'll click save and it will save for you. And those should pop up on your highlight the next time. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yes, it does.
So I'll talk about my structure really quick. And then I don't know if Shelby has any other questions or anything, and then we can go into questions with you guys. But my other huge suggestion, if you're really going to dive into Instagram, is to start doing IGTV. And I don't do it often enough, but I'm going to start doing it more. This is essentially going to be, and Connor and I have been talking about it for a really long time, because all of the major influencers are doing it right now as podcasts. And this is essentially Instagram's version of podcasts. So I started to dabble a little bit with it, talking about our products. And I got some major views in the beginning, and then they kind of tapered off, just like everything else that we post and do, which is okay because I know people are still watching them, but I want to get more activity on those IGTVs. So Connor and I might start doing a podcast together on relationships, and putting it on my IGTV. That way, not only are they falling in love with me and my husband and they can come for motivational purposes, but I also am so lifestyle based, and that's why I'm a Mass DT enroller. So I kind of like loop everything together, create a ton of curiosity about what I do, and then that's when I kind of bring up everything. I really don't post about the products on my page, unless it's about like me with my daughter holding a coffee cup and I'm going to talk about the coffee in my post, but it's never like black, green, and bling. So that's kind of my big tip. So find something that you can start putting on your Instagram story. What is it that you're passionate about? Don't make it about the company or about the products. Maybe have that be you. Like, and obviously all of your page is you, but just have that be a source where people, because a lot of times we think that people are coming on to social media platforms because they want to learn. Well, reality is they're coming on social media because they're bored and they want to be entertained. So I want to provide them with something that they can be entertained with, both with my pictures and when they go to my IGTV. So my point is, think about something. If you ride horses, maybe talk about horses and how this business allows you, you know, I don't ever say it works. I just say like, oh, my business does this for me. And obviously I'm incorporating that into, that'll be in Connor and I's relationship because this is my life. Right? So even when I tell you, pick something in your life, don't make it necessarily about the business. I'm just saying, don't go on and be like, hey, join my team. It's $99. This is what It Works is. Okay. So make it about you, but obviously still bring up how you're being benefited. Okay. So I'm playing around with my profile picture. So I want to kind of ignore that because it doesn't match my theme right now and that's bugging me. But one of the biggest things, you guys, is you want your following below or right at your followers. So you never want to be following more people than are following you. That's going to get you more activity on your page, and people are going to follow you more simply because psychologically, like, we think if this person's not following a bunch of people and a ton of people are following her, she's a hot commodity and I want to be on that page. So just the best app that I downloaded for that made it super easy is called Cleaner. And you just literally put it in and you can set the settings to where it unfollows people who aren't following you. My one tip with that is because you're adding new people every day, only like let your followers skyrocket, because all week you're going to be following new people, and maybe like pick a day like Sunday or whatever day is your off day and pick that day to not grow your network and simply clean things out. because you don't want to follow people and then have cleaner run and it's unfollowing all those people because you didn't give them enough time to follow you back. So just make sure that you're being strategic about it, but that makes it super easy. And then the other thing is, don't have It Works or It Works distributor or anything, your link, nothing goes in your bio. The one thing that I have told my girls to put in their bio that I have in my bio and that I love is our Live Fit link, because it just says My Live Fit and people can go to there and it's directly linked to my account anyways because it's my share code link. So even when people click on that, they may be redirected to our app, but it really doesn't say It Works anywhere until you get logged in or you become a customer or you join the app. So that's one way that I love it. And then if one day they do download my app and they do order products, I didn't have to do any work and that person is linked to me. But do not have anything that has It Works. And not because we're being sneaky. I love to explain this because it's people always ask me like, well, why? And it's like, because you want to create curiosity. I don't want people to go to my page and know that I'm with It Works or any company at all. I want them to click on my picture and see my bomb post and be like, what the heck does this girl do? And they shoot me a message. And that's how I get away with, like, I've never messaged for distributors. A lot of people do. And if that works for you, continue to do that. But if it doesn't, then start looking at top leaders or follow me or follow Rochelle is another really good example of people who do post really good opportunity posts, but it's so curiosity creating. The other thing is making a paragraph for your bio. So it just looks so much better than having one long stringy run-on sentence that talks about your life. So come up with bullet points that are key factors for you. So for example, at the top it says coach and mentor. My next one's Portland grown because I'm in Portland. There's lots of trees. I like weed. There we go. Wife and mother, millionaire mindset, wine lover, living by 10x standards. So you know who I am when you come to my page. This girl loves wine. She's the life of the party. She's got millionaire goals and she mentors people. And that's what I want people to know about me. So pick like key points about you. And then the other thing was going to be choosing a theme. So choose that filter. And you guys, I swear it will change your entire Instagram, because when people go to your page, they're looking at those first 9 pictures, those first 9 squares. So you want to make sure that especially those first 9 pictures, you don't need to go and clear out your Instagram, but start posting a couple times so that you get those old pictures down and have your 9 photos just like fire. They're super high quality photos. That's another really big thing on Instagram. It's less important on Facebook. Not that it's not, but it's less important on Facebook than it is on Instagram because there are so many bloggers and there are so many influential people on Instagram that lots of times they have photographers. Or, you know, instead of going to, I forget what that one app was called. There used to be something that you could go to, like VSCO. So you used to be able, like when you go on their app on Visco, it was basically like Instagram, but like photography pictures. And when Instagram was created, that was kind of the basis of it, was like combining that and Facebook. And so that's why it's so photo based. And because it is just photos, you guys, and you just have the caption versus the opposite on Facebook, it needs to be a good quality photo. So if you have a crappy phone, invest in a nice camera. It's going to be a business write-off, or go get a new phone. It's going to be a business write-off. And I swear it will make the difference if you just do those things. So I totally rambled and like word vomited, but we are perfect on time. We have 9 minutes left. So
you're doing great. I have so many freaking notes. I have like all my sticking up and just like sticking them on the wall. Like, I'll read them later.
hilarious.
My last thing was just going live because like I watch your lives all the time and I'm like, the confidence this girl has, like you don't care if your hair don't look good, you don't care if your baby's naked. And that's how I am too on Facebook, but I'm like, I just don't know any of my Instagram people. And I tried it today and no one got on. I was like, okay, I'm done. Because I couldn't find my frother. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Literally, I can't even tell you how much it is the same for me. Like I get way more activity on my Facebook lives than I do on Instagram lives. I don't really know why that is, but I still do it on Instagram because it boosts the algorithm. So whether you're comfortable with it or not, literally, you don't even have to be on it. Like, have a video of your camera running around the neighborhood, even if it's for 2 minutes, you guys, and you do that once a week, your page will absolutely get more activity. But honestly, one of my biggest things, and this has been my thing forever, is in my posts and in my lives and in my Zooms with you guys, like, I'm sweating. Like, you have no idea the amount of sweat that is on this chair, but you would never know because I do exuberate that confidence. And that's for 2 reasons. Number one, a hell of a lot of self-development. Pardon my French, but it is so important, you guys. And I had a horrible mindset. I was a very pessimistic person. If you knew me before this business, you probably hated me. I mean, this business literally saved my life and turned me 180, you guys. People literally didn't like me. Like, I was so rude, and I can't even describe it. But when you start to bring that positivity and you start to really focus on becoming a better person every single day, that translates in your messages and in your posts and in your lives. People can tell, like, you are literally transferring energy to another person every single time that you have a conversation. So my energy is directly going to every single one of you guys. And it's the same for every conversation that you have with a potential. So my thing from the get-go has always been, what do I want out of this? Well, I want to be Black Diamond. I want to be a top earner in this company, and I'll be damned if I'm not a freaking millionaire, because I didn't grow up with money and I'm such a red. So like, the dollar signs are like carrots in front of my face, and I'm a huge horse, like, trying to get it. You know what I mean? So that's just me. Find something that motivates you. The money is one of the big things for me. And so I said, I want to be a Black Diamond. Well, how would a Black Diamond act? How would a Black Diamond post? How would a Black Diamond? And so I started following those people. And I started watching what they were doing. And it took a lot for me to gain the confidence. And I stumbled a million times. But now I have all that confidence. And I still may sweat through my chair. But, like, I can put my confidence up for you guys because you have the exact same confidence in you. It's just going to take a lot of self-development and practice. Like, literally, that's it. And no one shows up hardly at all on my Instagram lives, you guys. But do them anyways because it boosts the algorithm. And even if no one watches them, you're getting more activity for sure.
All right, my girl Cassie had a question.
Yeah.
Cassie, if you want to unmute.
She actually already answered the question.
Okay.
It was about how do you get people to follow you back, because I have a lot of people that I'm following, but I only have like 500 followers. But I have another question. What is your Instagram name so I can look you up on there?
Yeah, that's another huge point. Actually, you guys, is if your Instagram name is not your name, I would make it your name so that people can find you easily. So my handle is Huffman Alexa, but my actual, like, name on Instagram, even if you just search Alexa Huffman, I'll pop up either way.
That's how I found you.
I tried, but it didn't work.
Here.
Oh, I can send you. I was about to say, are you spelling her name right?
It has 2 L's.
Her first name, yeah, her first name has 2 L's.
Oh.
Ooh,
I absolutely love how you spell your name.
Okay, I got it now.
But just like Ashley Mayfield said, I've been watching a lot of her lately because she is just red and fire.
yeah.
She said the other day in one of her lives, she goes, "Why do you guys think I have this chapstick? I'm putting it on 50 million times. They ain't paying me for this, but I am nervous." So, like,
Okay,
it doesn't matter how far you get up, you're always going to be facing those battles.
So
I was the
because
same
your
way. Everyone
Instagram-
hated me.
because your Instagram is a business thing, does that mean it's public? Because I've also heard that you shouldn't have your Instagram public.
Okay, I've heard the exact same thing, and I didn't do it for a year specifically because of that. But I know lots of other leaders who are public, and I had a really hard time with it at first just because I do have a daughter, and that kind of freaked me out. But one thing that I want you guys to recognize is whether you think you're private or not, your pictures, your stuff, your locations, you are tracked and monitored and recorded every single day. So whether you think that you're public or not really doesn't matter. And I had to come to grips with that myself because I thought that because I was private, I was protected. Ultimately, I get more business and I'm able to promote. Like, you're not able to promote if you're a private account. So that's something that I wanted to take advantage of. And that was more important to me than remaining private for whatever personal reasons that I had. I don't know, why you're asking necessarily, but I know tons of people that have success both with private and both with public. One thing that I did find when I was private is that people would follow me and then I wouldn't retain them. And so now, because my posts are public, people see my posts already. So there's nothing for them to oh, she's with It Works, I'm going to unfollow her, because it's all right there. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. How did you get the live fit to actually be a link?
So if
Because
you
I tried to put it in there and it didn't save it as a link.
Let's see. So if you go into your live fit and then you click your little guy and you go send invite, copy, and then you go to your Insta and you click edit profile and it says website. I just pasted it there and then saved it. And that'll pull it up at the bottom.
Okay, you public on Facebook.
I am.
I know we're about to cut off. I'm sitting here looking.
2 minutes.
I gotta say, so you are. I've always been. It's just one of those things that you're not. Nothing's ever private. Because I have 2 kids of my own and they're small, and just the things you hear and see, anything could happen to anybody. So you might as well sit here and make a business off of it. And
exactly. And the only thing that you can do is block them. So if somebody's being weird, I just block them and they can't see my account. And it's as simple as that.
Same thing I do on Facebook.
And don't be afraid to block people. I mean, if somebody's giving you a hard time, just move on. Don't let yourself sit in that negativity or allow, someone will send me a big paragraph about why they think that what I'm doing is wrong or whatever. And I literally won't even read it, y'all. I'll click out of it and legitimately block that person. There's 4 other people begging for me to message them right now. So keep trucking, kids.
Help the people who want help.
Exactly.
Forget about the ones who don't. But I appreciate you, girls. So many notes. Thank you so much before we get cut off.